Happy Sunday and welcome back, everyone. Wait, wrong end. Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. Can't nobody tell me nothing. They can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. They can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna... Alright, let's get into this, okay? So, this is part 3 to our Cuckold Megafest series, Cuckold Q&A Megafest series. And today is November 21st. It is 10:04 a.m. here in New York City. This is part 3. So part 1 I did 2 days ago, and I answered 12 emails that I received over the past year that I hadn't got a chance to address. I answered those in part 1. Then I came back yesterday in part 2 and answered, I believe it was 11 emails in that video for part 2. And today is a final installment. This is part 3, and I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 8 total emails I will be addressing. So let's just jump right into it. Now this email was, wait, hold on. I'll start with the first one. So this email was sent in response to my reply that I did. Yeah, so he responded. Okay, this is an email that I initially received September 14th. I addressed his email 2 days ago in my part 1, and he replied back. So here we are. He says, "Thank you so much for responding." Should I come closer? I feel like I'm a little bit distant. Let's see. Or maybe it's just, let me bring this other bar stool closer. Might be better. There we go. Alright. So he says, "Thank you so much for responding on your video on my email. In your video on my email. I was learning from your video that some white males denying the black man masculinity and superiority over white men." So I find it interesting, like, when I say something, when I make a statement, like, you guys will take what I say, and obviously it goes through your own filter, right? So you have your own interpretation of what I mean, and sometimes your translation of what I'm saying is totally off base. But I'm trying to recall, I think what he's talking about is a statement that I made regarding black men accelerating up the socioeconomic ladder, and how as they rise up, their masculinity is compromised typically. It's like they have to forfeit their masculinity in order to be so-called accepted by the powers that be as they rise up the socioeconomic ladder. So I think that's what he's talking about. He says, "Unfortunately, I was growing among those people, and one thing I can promise you, it's about time change." So, like, as I'm reading this, I'm just like, he really believes in Black New World Order. That's the tone of this email reply here. And it's changing. So many whites starting to come out and admit that BBC, I'm just like, oh God. I made a whole video, so y'all go back and check out my video that I made on Black New World Order, where I did address us, like, a few of you guys' emails that were trying to like, obviously you're trying to like pull me into this whole realm, right? And believing that somehow black men can gain power just because they have a fucking big black cock and they're fucking white women and even fucking white men. And it's basically, like I said, I don't take the Black New World Order, BNWO, seriously at all. Like I said, I think it's just a catchy porn title. I don't take it seriously at all. So I kind of think it's an insult too when it comes to, and I talked about this already. Go back and watch that video that I made on Black New World Order. All you gotta do is just check out my Cuckold playlist on YouTube, and it should not be that difficult to find. But I talked about that I think is really an insult to the efforts that black people are making to combat systemic racism and racial oppression. Anytime like y'all sitting here and mention BBC as it relates to white supremacy and racial oppression, I'm like, I get it. Y'all trying to like find a way in so that you know that your lifestyle is validated within the context of Black Lives Matter, and like I feel like you shouldn't mix the two. Like, nothing wrong with having your fetish, but that is your fetish, and just know that it's just a fetish, right? To assume that you're actually bringing about socio-economic political change for the black community somehow because you're intermingling with black people on a sexual basis, you gotta have lost your fucking mind. You really have. But anyway, continuing. So many whites starting to come out and admit that BBC and black females are much more qualified. I just think, yeah, if I was a black man, right, with a BBC, with a big black, y'all say cock, it's really dick. We call it dick, okay? Black women call well-endowed black men, you got big dicks. Y'all were like BBC, whatever. If I was a black man on the BBC, like, I would really take that offense. Like, if you're, like, really socially conscious, right, as it relates to the context of race politics, you know goddamn well that you're being used as a pawn, black man, for your BBC. I mean, if I was a black man, like, come on. But a lot of these black men who get caught up in this, obviously they're being played on. Their vulnerabilities, their insecurities, their sense of inferiority is being played upon and being used, and they become pawns in this whole scheme, grand scheme of things, not even knowing, right? Like, you don't see that? He says, in many ways, and needless to say, in sexual relationship, much more slowly, more white women admit it, and this movement is unstoppable. I'm assuming he's talking about the Black New World Order. It's like, y'all funny. I am backing up, yeah, he says it here, I am backing up New World Order when babies made only by black men, and I know many people agree to this. So hopefully it will change soon. Y'all can't be fucking serious. Thank you for who you are. Would love to have a phone consultation and I can PayPal you. Not right now. I probably will. Maybe sometime in 2022. I may begin phone consultations, but not right now. Not my thing right now. Like I said, I gotta make sure I organize it, and I will put you guys through a screening process. So before there's actual consultation, I gotta make sure that you're suitable for a phone, not a phone consultation because it'll actually be over video, but I have to make sure that you're suitable for a consultation with me. So I'm definitely gonna have to screen people before we do this, and that screening process is gonna be more like a vetting process. You're gonna feel like your ass is being put through an initiation. and then I'll take your money. Respectfully. But alright. That was his email response. He sent that 2 hours ago. At 8 a.m. Take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I love that song, y'all. Alright, moving along. So, like I said, I wanted to go back and address 2 emails that I addressed at the latter part of my video yesterday. I did part 2. I felt like it was kind of rushed. So, I am coming back to address those last 2 emails, the ones that I did at the latter part of part 2 in this series, Cuckold Q&A Megafest. What's up, Zalazar? So going back, so this person sent this May 7th, 2020, and it says, I went onto YouTube and typed in the word cuckolding and your vlog appeared. I was intrigued because I am a 56-year-old black male who loves the subject of cuckolding. I am a submissive wannabe, as I keep this discreet from both family and friends. I live in NYC as well and would love to share cuckoldry with you verbally, chat only. You seem very interested in the cuckold lifestyle. Yo, this is something I do want to take offline. Like, we're on social media, we're on YouTube right now discussing, you know, cuckolding. But I've said this before, and not only cuckold, but also BDSM. It's interesting that he titles the email cuckold/BDSM. Because I've said this, like, yo, for so long, since I discovered BDSM back in 2014, and I think for my 32nd birthday, was invited to an underground BDSM private party in New York City and here in Manhattan. So much fun. I made a video on it. I talked about my experience. Y'all should go check that video out. Oh my gosh. Just type in search words, obviously the name of my channel, which is Danny's World, and type in BDSM party, I think, or birthday. Just type in birthday and make sure you have BDSM also in the search words. And that video should come up. But yeah, I had so much fun, and after going to that event that night, I felt inspired to want to like host my own parties, given that event, they call it like a munch, because prior to the actual like club part, they had a private dinner, and they had drinks and all of that. It was fun at one location, and then we went to a totally different location to actually, you know, participate and attend, you know, the club part, the private party part, which there were demonstrations. I felt very free. I didn't like actively necessarily like engage with people there. I was with my partner at the time. Go watch that video. But that inspired me to want to create my own, given that those types of parties, right, those functions don't exist like on a regular basis. I kind of wish they did. They probably do, but not like that. Like, it's like every now and then they have things like that, like maybe once every 3-4 months. So it inspired me to want to like open my own club, or even like use my house. And I keep saying this, like I have this this vision that I am going to buy a brownstone in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, that is going to happen. I'm going to buy a brownstone big enough so that I can like host private events. That is just like my vision, yo. It's one of my goals. One of my like short-term goals that I'm working towards. And yeah, yo, we're gonna have fun. I really do. I want to like invite people, and given that he says he's in New York, like as long as you guys have respect, you have decorum, like yeah, you know, it's cool, right? And we can really fucking have some fun. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying, like, we can have workshops, just, chats. We can have sleepovers, demonstrations. Like, yes, I would do this, like, at my place. I would feel like, it would be like a close-knit. So it's not like, okay, we just gonna randomly pop up and, like, hang out, at my place. It's like, this will be a circle of people that I've nurtured, friendships with. And yeah, that shit will be fun. But addressing the part here in this email that he sent, where he says he keeps it discreet from both family and friends. That's kind of what sticks out the most, apart from him being 56 years old. I'm like, you're 56? But I get it. Like, if you feel like it's not other people's business, then it's not other people's business, right? That's your thing. That's your choice. But I just feel that people should live unapologetically. I can say this until the moon fucking turns red. Like, and I feel like it's better when you live life that way. Not that you have to go out and shout it out because someone said, oh, well, why we gotta go and broadcast it to the world. No, you don't have to broadcast it, but you shouldn't have to hide it either. That's your life. You should be able to live it and walk proudly in your identity, as a submissive. But he says he's a wannabe. Now, you're watching this. What makes you wannabe? First of all, why are you a wannabe? I guess it's just a fantasy, not something you have really acted upon. And I wonder, how long has this been a fantasy of yours? How long have you been stuck in the fantasy world of wanting to be a submissive? He goes into a submissive wannabe. Interesting. But why? Because you'll become that different person over there in the family. Like, your family will look at you like, you're over there. I feel like it's not. See, this is the thing. People try to, like, fit in, even with family and with certain social groups, right? And that can be cool and all because, that's your family. So you fit in one regard, but in other regards you may not necessarily fit in. But I feel like in that regard where you feel maybe you don't fit in and that's the reason why you keep it a secret, they already know that, like, people are not stupid. Human beings are very sophisticated creatures, okay? Like, we know what the fuck is up. You can tell when someone is unique and special, so why hide that part about yourself? To me, it kind of makes no sense. But good luck stepping out. It's like coming out of the closet. Alright, this is the one I wanted to come back to and address. Which, I did address it partly at the end of my video I made yesterday, the part 2 of this Q&A. But I want to spend a little bit more time on it. So let's go back to that. So this next email here was sent June 10th, 2020. And he says, hi, my name is, I'm 30 white male, so I'm interested in cuckolding thanks to your films. That's very open-minded, but what about people? What they will think? So he's concerned about what people will think about him allowing an African-American man, which is typically considered to be the bull, have sex with his woman. And that kind of branches off from the previous email, right? Where we're talking about a 56-year-old man. He's 30, white male here. The previous one was 56 years old, black man. So this is not uncommon for people to be concerned about what other people think, even as adults. Like, the 56-year-old man, like, you're middle age. you're middle-aged and you're wondering what people think. And like I said yesterday in part 2, it's not so much what they think, right? Because I think you know what your family is going to think. It's how will you navigate that? How is that going to impact your relationship to the people that you love, right? With the people that you love. How is that going to impact that? How is that going to change the relationship dynamic that you have, let's say, with your mother, with your father, with your sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, your nieces, your own children, right? Your friends, your co-workers. How will that change that dynamic if they know? And it sounds like part of you wants to come out of that closet. Part of you does. Like, part of you want to come out. You want people to know, because if not, then why does it even matter what people think? So part of you is kind of already processing the coming out part. And that's where the question surfaces, what will they think? That's how that surfaced, right? Maybe we should have a just big coming out party. Cuckold coming out party, right? I get it. It's like this is still considered taboo. Though I would consider that a significant number of people, significant enough that, shit, look at the views on these videos that I make on cuckolding. Sizable fucking amount of views that I get. So it's a significant number of people that know about the lifestyle, that practice it, yet it's still considered to be taboo and underground. That's the thing. So I think having the help, because obviously mainstream media is a very powerful engine. Having their help to normalize it, kind of going back to what that other person was saying, like, should this lifestyle be normalized? Not that it necessarily needs to be, right? But I feel like it doesn't need to be normal in order for you to just live it unapologetically. That's my point, right? But I think normalizing it will help for you to kind of step out and to just walk proudly in this identity. Whether you're a cuckold, you're a bull, you're a cuckoldress, or a cuck queen, it helps. And when I say mainstream media, I'm talking about documentaries. I'm talking about feature films, like they did with 50 Shades of Grey. But 50 Shades of Grey, yo, they fucked that. Like, I feel like they added injury to insult, or insult to injury, however you say it. With 50 Shades of Grey, I feel like they didn't help the public's perception of BDSM, or even the dynamic between dominant and submission. She didn't help it. She didn't do it justice. And I think that's why there was so much outrage against it. First of all, a lot of people criticized. They complained about the writing. They said that was garbage because many people had read the books first. I didn't read the books, but I did see all of the films. I actually got invited to the red carpet premiere of 50 Shades Darker, I think it was. Which was the second part in that installment. And yo, that was amazing, because I'm a big fan of 50 Shades of Grey, by the way. I love the film series, actually. I have all three. Yo, I think I have all three. Let's see here. I sure do. I have all three, you guys. Check this out. Check this out. I have all three of these, so you know I'm a fucking fan. Big time. And this is free. This is the last one. Oh, I just love the character. It's such a turn on, yo. Seeing Christian, yo. It's just like everything about his character just turned me the fuck on. And it was her too, because it's a dynamic, right? Her just being the innocent little submissive woman. Just very naive in her naivete. Like, she's just, so, like, malleable. And they fit together like a glove. I did a whole review, so I'm not going to use this time to do the review, but I did a whole review on that. I actually went live at that premiere in Los Angeles that I got invited to. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But yeah, I think that mainstream media, like, you know, Hollywood, they hold this power, right? To shape the minds of the masses, and if only they could use that power for good cause. That's the thing. As a writer myself, I would write a feature film to kind of encapsulate this lifestyle, right? And, or of course, I would want to direct it, because in the words of Spike Lee, if you're going to direct a film, make sure, no, I think he says it's the reverse. He says, if you're going to write a film, make sure that you write a film that you can direct, okay? Because otherwise, I mean, you know, every layer of the filmmaking process, each player in that layer adds their own creative voice to it, right? So obviously the writer has a voice, has a story that they're telling, and the director has a story. It's good if it's consistent with the writer, but oftentimes it may deviate, right? Even the editor has a story that they're telling, the way that they tell it, right? The costume designer, right? Like the makeup artist, the lighting department, you know, the cinematographer, everybody, every piece, every moving piece in making a feature film, they have their story, they have their voice, right? They have a story that they're telling. And so I think, yeah, being a director of a film that you write definitely is would allow you the ability to have a little bit more creative control in that, especially in the message that you're wanting to put out there. Because the director is the director, right? Like, you're the boss. You direct everybody on set, right? You kind of like is a mastermind of the whole project. You're very hands-on when it comes to what people see on the big screen. So that would be a good idea. I have so many different ideas. One of which being a manual of like the do's and the don'ts and the how-tos and the how-to-nots of cuckolding. A feature film. We can turn this into a whole enterprise, you guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. In fact, on my website, I have a form that people can fill out. If they are in the film industry, whether you are a videographer, cinematographer, an editor, costume designer, makeup artist, you can indicate your role, and I have different film projects. This is something I created like years ago because I'm an artist, right? I'm a creator myself, and I have in mind different projects that I'm definitely going to start embarking on pretty soon, like film projects, documentaries, including my autobiography. Right? I wrote a book about my life called American Dreamer, so there will be a complimentary documentary that goes with that, and a film. And I also wrote a book called Dying to Submit back in 2014, autobiographical, erotica, fiction, and it's going to be a film that goes along with that. And so I created a form on my website for people who our filmmakers, like who are, have different roles within the film industry, to sign up to become, a cast or crew member. And I've gotten some responses back of people who, agreed to work on these films. So it's underway. I'm just putting that out there. It's underway. That's another one of my passions, apart from obviously being a psychologist and helping people achieve a higher level of quality of life. I also feel very passionate about like art, expression, writing, filmmaking. So yeah, many of you guys don't know that I did go to film school in Los Angeles, California. But that's a whole nother story. So getting back, my point is basically saying that, yeah, I think that the film industry can definitely help. And also having conventions where we bring people together. I've hosted events for my nonprofit literary organization called Ubawa before, so I definitely have experience with this. It's just a matter of doing it. And I think 2022 is definitely going to be the year, which they already projected anyway, right, as it relates to the whole COVID pandemic that we've been under for the past damn near fucking 2 years now. They projected that 2022 is going to be the year that kind of the world turns back to normal. So it's kind of already there somewhat, but it's going to be even more closer to normal next year. The new normal, shall we say. So it's going to be exciting. Definitely. All right. The same person says, and my woman will no longer love me when our relationship will turn into the cuckold one. So I think I touched upon that question kind of more in depth. How she will see me. I think, yeah, her perception of you will change. The question is, like, how it will change. Like, I definitely think it is no way that you can invite a third wheel, as I described in part 2. Go back and watch the end of part 2 video that I made yesterday. There's no way that you can invite and triangulate this third wheel into your relationship dynamic, right, between you and your partner, and then somehow expect it to go unmoved, right? Like, no, it's going to change. And we can help Afro-American community movement with cuckolding as a white couple. Okay, that's the question I really wanted to address, because I don't think black men or the black community, period, really needs help from white people, especially when it comes to cuckolding. Like, I said this already at the beginning of this video, right? I feel like it's an insult, to be honest, to assume that, cuckolding or interracial fucking sex is the end-all, be-all. It's a solution for black people overcoming racial oppression. Are you kidding me? Black men do not need the permission of white men to fuck white women. They're going to do that anyway, right? You can't help black men adapt to fucking white supremacy or overcome white supremacy. Adaptation, I feel like, is a natural thing within humanity. People naturally adapt. A homeless person adapts by putting up a tent, right? They're going to put up a tent if you're homeless. Likewise, a man who doesn't sit well with his masculinity is going to put on a dress. That's a form of adaptation. So, in the same vein, a black man, let's say if he feels inferior to the white man, he don't need the white man's permission to adapt to that situation. He's going to naturally find a way to adapt to that sense of inferiority. And a lot of black men have done this by just on their own will fucking white women without the white man's permission. We don't need your help. But I get it. You feel like you want to help out, but that's not, you need help. That's what it is. You need fucking help. These white men, like I said, and get engaged in cuckolding. And I said this in my video entitled The Real Reason Why White Men Become Cuckolds, right? It's a backdoor approach. The black man is who you really want, right? But in exchange, you're like, oh, here is my white wife. You can fuck my white wife. Really, they want to be fucked, right? And someone's going to say, oh, that's a simplistic approach. It ain't nothing simple about that interpretation. That's not a simple or simplistic interpretation of why white men engage in this lifestyle. That's very complex when you think about it. That white men will go to that extreme just to get some dick. Just to get some dick. And then somebody gonna comment on that video and say, oh no, that's not the reason why, the explanation I just gave. They're saying the real reason is because they've conditioned themselves by watching interracial porn, seeing black men fuck white women in these interracial porn videos, and through that conditioning they have become they get turned on, right, by a black man, you know. Conditioning, anything, anybody know anything about classical conditioning, right? You can condition pretty much anybody to respond a different way to a stimulus. The stimulus here being a black man, right? When initially maybe he wasn't sexually attracted to a black man, but if you pair that with something that is desirable by a person, let's say him having sex with a white woman, anytime a white man sees a black man, even if he's not having sex with a white woman, his dick may get hard, right? That's the whole hallmark of that experiment with the dog, the salivation, Pavlov experiment, right? In psychology. So that's classical conditioning. And I think, okay, that explanation may have some merit to it, but no. Because when, in terms of porn, right, and I said this in the other parts to this series, part 1 and part 2, what drew you to that type of porn in the first place, right? It goes deeper than, oh, you're just watching porn and that's where the fetish originate from, just watching porn. It's deeper than that. Though, yes, watching porn can definitely help feed and nurture the fantasy and help condition and strengthen that reaction that a white man has when it comes to his interaction with a black man. And even, you know, just beholding a black man, right? Porn can definitely help strengthen that internal reaction that a white man feels towards a black man. But I'm talking about the origin, the etiology, what was the initial triggering factor for him to even go, for these white men to even go and click on a link, interracial cuckolding on a porn site. Something came before that, right? Can anyone be bold enough to provide an answer below in the comment section? We were talking about penis envy yesterday. I posted a meme. This was like months ago. I shared this. I thought the meme was fucking beautiful. Because it captures kind of like the essence of racism. In a very comical way. To say this is a real reason behind racism, right? And white supremacy. Yo, and it had like this statue. I think it was of Caesar. Little ass goddamn dick. And then it had an unclothed black man with a well endowed penis in comparison. And it's just like, aha! Penis envy is the underlying reason for racism. But that also ties into this inferiority complex too, right? So it's a complex of things, of factors. Penis envy being one of those factors going into the inferiority complex of white men, right? Interesting stuff here. Feel free to share your comments below. What about having her, pregnant? I mean, if you want a baby, if you want to create a baby, right? Conceive a baby in the context of an interracial cuckold situation, then do it. What's stopping you? But if you're concerned about that, then obviously there are precautions that one can take, to prevent pregnancy. I don't think that we need to do a lesson on that. I mean, honestly, for me, sex ed, I learned that shit in elementary school. All the way back in elementary school. They had people coming in and talking to us about sex and diseases and all different shit. Right? Pregnancy in elementary school, right? But I went to all black school. I know some schools probably deem that as unethical, inappropriate to talk about sex with elementary schoolers, but not my school. I grew up in the 80s though, but it definitely was a thing. We definitely talked about that. How family will see me, us, when cuckolding will step into our relationship. So, you know what? It's making me think like these different questions can be whole workshops or different topics addressed in workshops, which I might put together. So instead of doing like one-on-one consultations, or maybe, I don't know, I might do both. I was going to say instead, but maybe prior to doing like the one-on-one consultations, I might just offer courses. And because I like the group dynamic more so than one-on-one, especially when it comes to this kind of topic, right? I think that people will be able to benefit more from that group dynamic more so than one-on-one. I know, I get it. Some of y'all are super private. You're like, I don't want nobody knowing that I'm engaged in this lifestyle, right? I trust you, Danielle, to be able to provide feedback and counsel in my situation, but I don't want anybody knowing this, right? So I get it. But there will be rules to the group. It's like what happens in the group stays in the group will be one of the rules. Why would you feel the need to go and run and tell? Right? But why I feel like I just wish we can just live our lives. Fuck the judgment. People, yes, they're gonna judge. Just imagine, like, you go public about this. We're talking, like, I'm discussing these situations that you guys bring to me with your own personal life, right? Publicly, but you are remaining anonymous. So, the outside world, though infinite number of people may be able to see my videos, they're not gonna know who I'm talking about, right? So you feel protected in that sense. But let's say you were to get on video and share your experience. I think obviously it would be very cathartic, and it would be just a feeling of release and empowerment for yourself just to be able to do it. It's like conquering your fears. But there's a flip side to it too, because of course it's like, I feel like, okay, the smaller number of people who see it is a safe zone. I said it's about the size of my viewership. on YouTube and Facebook. I feel it's very safe. It's intimate. You know, I have much control over what happens here, right? But then it's like the more people whose eyes are on your content, your videos, say if you were to create a vlog and talk about your own personal experiences publicly, yeah, yeah, you're stepping into a territory where people, all kind of people out there, and a lot of people are very critical. Most people aren't empathic, right? You would think. A lot of people are critical only because much of that is a projection. They're projecting themselves onto you because they're critical of themselves, right? And so I think that's where you have to have thick skin and a bit of intellect to understand how it works when you do like go public with your personal life and how people respond to that and they comment, you know. And I get it. I'm a human being, so y'all seen me. I get annoyed sometimes, even though it's like I know not to take what you guys say personal. But it doesn't mean that I can't set boundaries for my space, right? And it's just once it hits the World Wide Web, and you go public and even go viral, it's kind of like you're releasing it to the universe. This is your intimate personal life, like details of your intimate personal life, your story, your experience. You release it to the universe. So at that point, when you do that, it's out of your hands. There's nothing really you can do. People are going to formulate their own perspectives and opinions about it and whatever. But yeah, obviously that's a common concern, how family will see you when cuckolding. When you begin to cuckold your relationship. Thank you for everything that you do for people on social media, and I hope you will respond. Can't wait for it. I'll write it to you on Facebook to have a better contact if you want. Listen, I challenge you guys, for those who brought up concerns about what their family and friends will think, right? I want to challenge you guys to, you gotta take a big step. Not to take a big step, unless you feel moved to do so, right? And this self-disclosure about yourself, right? About your identity with your family and friends. But I challenge you guys just to take a small step. And get a t-shirt. Get a t-shirt. I might make some t-shirts for you guys, like cuckolding t-shirts. But in the meantime, like, get a t-shirt and a t-shirt that I feel like it should be simple, nothing complicated, just simple, with the word cuckold on it. And wear it. You know, that might be a big step. That might be pretty bold. And wear the t-shirt and just see what people say. And then if they ask you about it, I feel like this is an experiment, right? Naturalistic observation experiment that you can do. Just to see people's reaction, because you know people are going to react to it. What is that, right? They ask questions. But just to get their reaction, right? Just wearing a shirt with the word cuckold, right? On it. And as you look at their reaction, of course they may have questions, but don't take it personal, right? Don't take it there to make it personal. I mean, don't get personal about, right, your life necessarily. Talk about it in third person, right? As if you're educating them just about the lifestyle itself, right? Nothing about you, nothing about your affiliation to it, your desire, your fantasy, nothing of that sort. Just about Cuckold. And see how they respond. You know, that is going to be interesting. And then feel free to come back and give us an update. He closes this email by saying, I'm really sorry for what's happening in the U.S. right now from Europe, but I want to help Afro-American community grow. I think every white human should do basically what you think about it. Cuckolding for white couples will help African-American community. He says it, Afro-American community. Yo, Afro-American is so goddamn 60s. That shit is so throwback. But he sent this June 10th, 2020. I'm like, what was happening around then? I think it was the whole protest, right? Because it was the summertime. I was out there. I was out there in New York with those protests, and I did make some videos about that surrounding the whole killing, the murder of George Floyd. I was definitely out in the mix. Alright, moving along to the next one. This was sent May 6, 2020. So he says, I can tell you that from a cuckold standpoint, I believe it is the best possible marriage or relationship between a heterosexual man and woman. I swear, some of y'all be sounding very convincing. Alright, like I said, I never tried it. But y'all are very good at persuasion. Some of y'all. Ooh, that ginger. He says, it literally fixes several problems within traditional marriage. What problems does it fix? So, in my live video premiere of the part 2 to this Cuckold Q&A Megafest, there was a man that came on the stream, on my YouTube live stream. I didn't reply, I just observed. And he was talking about his interest in cuckolding as it relates to his medical condition. If I recall correctly, I think he says he has a heart condition and he's not expected to live long. And it does have a negative impact on his ability to be able to have sex. I think he's impotent. So he says for him, that's his attraction to cuckolding. To see like his partner satisfied, since he's incapable of being able to do that due to his medical condition. And I'm like, wow, that's deep, right? That's a whole different perspective, though I know it relates to a lot of y'all's story about, you know, these men who come on here and they you know, explain their proclivity towards a lifestyle, kind of just reducing it to having a small penis size. But for this other man, this white man, I think he was white, to get on the live stream yesterday in part 2, and he's talking about his medical condition. I'm like, finally we have someone who can think outside of fucking sex. Yo, some of y'all I feel like are very vain. That's why a lot of times I don't be reading your emails right away. I don't address it because it's just the vanity of it. But yeah, that to me was more substantial and more eye-opening. And it makes sense how it can help save a relationship. And it also kind of solidifies the fact that relationships are more than sex, right? Because for a person to still be married to a person who is not able to satisfy them sexually, right? But then you bring in a surrogate person, in a sense, a person that can fill the shoes of your partner, regarding things that they're incapable of doing, right, for you. And that helps strengthen the bond that you have with your partner. That is fucking amazing, yo. That's amazing, if you ask me. Because what does the common person usually do? The typical person says, all right, you can't meet my needs, I'm throwing you away. You're useless. Boop. And that person no longer exists in that person's mind anymore, right? When they become useless. But for a person to not throw you away, even though you have a handicap, right, due to a medical condition, and they still are able to appreciate other aspects of you, so heartwarming. I'm like, wow, people are amazing, yo. People are fucking amazing. It's just it speaks, we're talking about adaptation. It kind of speaks to the natural ability within humans to adapt to anything, yo. Wow. But anyway, continuing. But recently I have discovered some issues I don't quite know how to resolve. The Cuckold hot wife lifestyle is primarily built on white men being cuckolded by a white wife using a black bull, and that is fine. However, do you see any black male cuckolds? It comes up again. I can't find but one on a Google search or Twitter search. If you ask a black woman her thoughts on cuckolding, it's like introducing an alien to her. Why are there no black or brown cuckoldresses? That's a good question. And I'm assuming the cuckoldress is the woman who is getting fucked, right, by a bull. Right? With her partner's consent. Oh, damn. Why aren't there any black, or that, I'm pretty sure they exist. I'm pretty goddamn sure, right? And for those who have made it to this part in the video, I feel like you guys are deserving of a little bit of transparency. Okay, here's where I break a secret to you guys. I don't think I've ever shared this before, but this is so much fun. Alright, so a lot of you guys ask me, how is it you never tried cuckoldry? You never participate in the lifestyle, and you say you don't like it, but you keep talking about it so much. Why is it? Now here's the real reason. Though I know I did give you guys a couch response yesterday, which is true as it relates to my interest in interracial affairs and race politics. And I linked that to, obviously, my interest in talking about cuckolding, right? Because cuckolding is typically an interracial dynamic. But the other side to that is that to really get to it, I do have an interest in this. I don't think I ever shared that though. I've always said like, I wouldn't do it. I don't have a really personal direct interest in it. I have an interest in talking about it. And I made a video on would I date a cuckold, and I'm just like, nah. And then I tease you guys with a made up story. And y'all was going with it. Y'all really thought that shit was true. I was like, you're on the edge of your seats, and I was just like, I'm joking. That is completely made. I completely improvised that on the spot as I was telling you guys the story, making the video. I am a storyteller, by the way. And sometimes you guys aren't able to decipher when I am being honest or telling the truth, or if I'm just telling a story. Now, I will let you guys know I'm not that fucking facetious, right? To hold on to a made-up story. I don't think I can do that. It's just, me just being a genuine, true, real fucking person, I can't hold on to a lie like that for that long, like if I'm telling a story. So I'll let you guys know in the same video that, okay, I'm joking, right? It's like when I do my April Fool's pranks or whatever. I'll let you guys know, like, right on the spot, right? I may, like, carry it on for a while in the video, but you'll know in the same video, okay, it's just a joke, right? Someone commented on my video yesterday when I was telling a story about how I kind of was in a human sperm competition situation. That wasn't made up when I talked about dating a guy and also having a best friend who later became my partner. And them two, we were all in the same, we were in my apartment actually in Jacksonville, Florida. But them two coming into contact with each other at the same time because both of them were at my place. We were hanging out. My boyfriend didn't know, I think at the time, that my best friend was there, right? But make a long story short, my partner pulled a gun out on my best friend, put it to his head. And someone commented and said, oh, I'm 90% sure this is a fake story. That wasn't fake, y'all. I can't make that up. I mean, I know my best friend, who I put him in timeout. He's in timeout. But we knew each other since 2006. It was my friend right at the time that situation happened, but he later became my partner. And we're kind of like long-standing best friends. I bet he probably wished it was fake. You know, but that wasn't the first time someone put a gun out on him either, though. So he just took it like a champ. He's just like, bruh, for real. But yeah, yo, listen, this is the reason why, like I said, that I am a writer, because I have lived life, my G. I have lived life, okay? I have a lot of experiences to pull from, and I need to do more writing. I need to write more books. That's just what it is. I need to just share it. But I feel like I get on here with you guys and I share it via vlog, so kind of same thing. But okay, y'all see how I just fucking deflected? I catch myself, y'all. I follow my train of thought, even though it feels like I'm fucking scatterbrained. I am able to catch myself, okay? And I recognize I just deflected from talking about the real reason why I'm drawn to talking about cuckolding. So here it is. Yes, I admit, I can say, for you guys who have made it this far, here's your treat, okay? I have fantasized about... It's funny. As soon as I get ready to say it, views go up. But no, I have fantasized about being fucked. Like having a threesome with two men. And not just two men, but like... And they call it trains. I don't like certain phrases that, you know, the culture uses. Because I'm just like, I'm not a hoe. Right? Just because a person is tapped into their sexuality and they have certain fetishes, like, don't use derogatory words, labels to classify them. So I don't like that part, right? But it has been a fantasy of mine. This is something I've fantasized about for many years, probably stemming all the way back to, I know I was in like school, grade school. Yeah. Like having sex with multiple men at the same time. At the same time and sequentially, right? And I would say that fetish has been nurtured, obviously by porn, because yes, there's a whole section of porn, there's a genre of porn, like the gangbang and, you know, where you see scenes with just one woman and like all these men. So I would say it's been nurtured by that from my earlier experiences in watching porn, like I admitted in part 2. I'm not really I'm not a porn fanatic. I don't like porn, to be honest, I don't. It's dry to me. Perhaps because I watch so much porn when I shouldn't have been watching it as a kid. Yeah, it's just, shit played out. Porn is played out to me. But I do like storyline films, that have very sensual, sexual scenes in them. But yeah, I used to fantasize about that. And can one say, oh, well, that fetish, right, was developed in me, or initially was sparked in me because I watched porn? No, I don't think so. Because I feel like it's something deeper than that. Like, what is it about me that even at the age I was, I can't pinpoint the exact age, but I know, I was still in school. Grade school, I was like a child where, and this is not uncommon, a lot of fucking people, okay, human beings began watching porn when they still living under their parents' roof, okay? Boys and girls. This is not uncommon, okay? Not just saying that it's right, but I'm saying it's not uncommon, okay? So don't be looking at me like, But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't, like, I can't say that, oh, it began with porn, because I'm like, there's something in me that even drew me to that type of dynamic, right? Like, what is it within me that when I somehow stumble on my very first video I ever watched, way back when I was a little girl, where there was a girl and multiple men were sexually satisfying her and pleasing her, right? And then something within me was getting turned on, right? It's like something was in me that's already there before I watched that video that drew me to that. Like I said, because there are different genres of porn, and I could have easily clicked on anything. Same thing I tell you guys, you could have easily clicked on anything, but why in particular interracial cuckolding videos? It's something there. So, moment of truth is like this fantasy I've always had, and I've kind of played with the fantasy, like toyed with it, right? I never acted it out. I never had two men at the same time. But I've envisioned, right? I've kind of toyed with the idea of how it would play out. Right? I think I had a dream. I'm thinking, y'all. I think I had a dream. Since I've been living here in this place, I think I did. I had a dream. Did I mention this? Because sometimes I be dropping jewels, and y'all catch them, right? But I think I had a dream where I was living where I'm living at now, Upper East Side. But in the dream, I was living in a different building. More like modern building. And it was like high rise. And yeah, I think I remember telling you guys about this. I'm not going to repeat it. But yeah, it was kind of like a cuckoldry situation. It definitely was, right? For me, one of my fetishes within BDSM, and this is only for you guys who make it to this part of the video, is that I am an exhibitionist. So that kind of does tie into this whole thing about cuckoldry and me having a partner, let's say, and him watching me have sex with another man. Now, granted, it ain't gonna be no random. Like, if this ever was to take place, right? Which it could be very likely. It would never be like some random Joe Schmo. I'm just saying, though. Because I am still who I am at my core. And who I am at my core is a woman of caliber, dignity, and I'm kind of a bit of a narcissist in a way where, yeah, like, yo, you gotta be the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a high value man. That, to me, turns me the fuck on. I like alpha men of high social status. And so, yeah, that's how I envision it, right? But we like have this close knit relationship, right? So ain't gonna like how y'all be saying how y'all just be going on like Backpage or whatever, these random sites and picking random. You don't even know these motherfuckers. You just want to do it. I would never afford anyone that privilege, opportunity of being able to have me in that way. Some random ass motherfucker. Hell no. It would definitely have to be someone who I know, like I said, I nurture a relationship with. Yeah. We know each other, right? Me and my partner obviously know each other. We date, we're married. And then this other person, like we're all friends, like good friends, outside of just fucking, right? Because it's not going to be based on fucking. So that's my thing. I feel like what makes sex that much more enjoyable when there's a deeper connection apart just from getting my rocks off. Because I don't need a man for that. Women don't need. Listen, women don't need. They got toys for that. We don't need a man to nut or to orgasm. Because really, when you think about it, most women, we don't orgasm when we have intercourse with a man. We don't. Most women don't. So that orgasm comes from the stimulation of the G-spot, especially, the clitoris when you're using a vibrator. Don't need a fucking man for that. So it's not about having sex with men for sexual gratification necessarily, but it does heighten it, right? When you have like that connection to a person, and for me, it's like it's so psychological. It's very, and I talk about like BDSM and what turns me on. It's a mind fuck, yo. It's like you can make a woman orgasm without touching her. Those are the kind of men I like. And you have to be of high intellect to be able to do that. That's a fucking special type of intelligence, if you ask me. People talk about verbal ability and spatial intelligence and all of this different types of intelligence. But just being able to tap into a woman's mind and her mind, knowing that her mind is connected to her sexual body, right? Her physical body. Being able to stimulate her without even physically touching her. That takes a higher level of sophistication, right? That's the shit I like. Seeing a woman in bondage and she dripping wet. Just dripping. And he's not even touching her, right? He's just like looking at her. Like he's all up. Like you can tell he's making a connection with her mentally without touching her though. Because he knows her through and through to be able to stimulate her in that way. That's the shit I like, A lot of men can't do that. Granted, traditional men, touching the erogenous zones, kissing on the neck. That's basic shit. Nah. That's boring to me, right? Fingering. I don't like fingering. Don't stick your fucking fingers in my shit. Okay? Eating the pussy. That's like, nah. Right? But anyway, let's continue. So now that I've shared that fantasy, there you have it. That's why I'm drawn to talking about cuckolding, because for me, yes, I have a fantasy of being, but I don't want to call myself a cuckoldress or maybe a cuck queen, but no, I don't like cuck. Cuck sounds too much like cock, and I don't know, I just don't like sexual kind of illicit terms like that. Just call me Danielle. Don't call me no cuck queen, no cuckoldress, no, right? And for me, I feel like with that title, like it attracts like beta males, and I don't like beta men necessarily, or like it's not my thing, right? I don't judge sissies, but I don't like sissies or submissives. Like, no. I just like hardcore alpha men. That's all I'm saying, though. So yeah, imagine that, y'all. But for me, because I know I talked to you guys about how the hell y'all sitting on a fantasy for that many years, right? Granted, I'm talking to the fucking choir when I'm talking to y'all. That's how when I talk to y'all, y'all feel like, damn, she's head on. Because you are me, okay? I am you. We are each other's reflection. So I'm talking to myself and I'm talking to you. But yeah. I sat on it for that many years, but at the same time, I don't think about it, right? A lot of times you guys like really think on your fan. I haven't thought about that in a long time. I used to think about it a lot though, definitely when I was much younger. Like fantasizing, imagining. Oh, right? But I definitely haven't thought about that in a while. And in my last relationship, yeah, like how you guys talk about your fantasy, like how you are having this fantasy, right? You feed your fantasy while you're having sex with your partner, and they may not even know that you're fantasizing about this. I've done that. I've definitely done that too. Just imagining, like, with my ex, us having intercourse, and there's someone watching to heighten that fucking vibration. I can go on, but let's just park it there. So I hope that answers your question. Why are there no black or brown cuckold dresses? That's a good question though. Why aren't there? There are. They just... Y'all men. See, this is y'all. It's y'all fault. I blame men. Because there's a lot of shaming. Right? Sex shaming. From men towards women. Calling women hoes and sluts, right? Slut, they call it slut shaming. I don't like that term. I don't like anything derogatory. Just call me my name, Danielle. You know, it's nice if you call me queen or goddess or whatever, but you know, I'm okay with you calling me my name, Danielle. And yeah, the slut shaming. So you say why? That's why. It's y'all. Y'all the one out here slut shaming women. Or shaming women. I shouldn't say slut shaming, but shaming women just for fucking being a human being and having sex. So, no, you're not going to really know about it, but we're going to interrupt that. Why and how? Because I live in New York City, and we know New York is a place where it goes down. It goes down in New York. People are afforded the opportunity to just live and be who you want to be. If you want to be a dog crawling on all fours on a chain being pulled by a woman, you can be that here in New York, and people will actually give you positive reinforcement by giving you attention and smiling at you and taking pictures of you and wanting to take a picture with you. It's like, that's why I love New York. All right, moving on to the next email. Sent April 25th, 2020. Yo, this person did not use hardly any. Oh, they didn't use any punctuation at all, yo. It's like a 15-line paragraph with no punctuation. But let's see if we can get through this. I am a biracial black man, and I turned on to cuckolding, of course. It started as a conversation. She asked my fantasies. I said 2 women. Hers was 2 men. So if I gave her 2 men, she would give me 2 women. That's easy. So it happened. Even exchange, right? Okay. He's talking a lot about his fucking penis. I don't really care to hear about y'all fucking penis, right? It starts to sound like fucking porn. But anyway, let's continue. And I think this email is made up. I think that would be fucking lying, exaggerating, storytelling. I get it. But I'm going to read through it. I might not have much to say in response to this, though. I'm just going to read it. And my penis is very small, and the guy she picked happens to have a really big one. I'd say it was at least 13. That's what I'm saying, yo. You lie, like, come on, yo. For real? For real. 13 inches. Stop with the bullshit. On that note, I don't even know if I want to read this. But I might read it just so y'all can see how insidious this shit sounds. Um, he made her do things I couldn't. Fast forward a few months, she wanted to do it again, and I can't lie, I wanted to watch again. This time I couldn't stop staring at it. It's like, what world do y'all live in? It reminds me of that fake Hollywood shit. When I used to live in Hollywood. I don't like superficiality. I like real shit, yo. There are too many people that have real life experiences for me to sit up here and waste time reading some fucking made up ass story. And I get it, it could be his fantasy, but come on. Anyway, this time I couldn't stop staring at it. It was so big. Well, a year later, we was at the bar with friends, and I was coming out the bathroom. I noticed my wife rubbing my friend's dick. So after that, I got paranoid that she might be cheating, so I set up spy cams and recording devices, and come to find out, she was addicted to BBC. Oh, this motherfucker lying. Big ones, though. So after watching them, I found out she has fucked and sucked 4 different friends, and they all were big. Go figure. Well, instead of confronting her, I got off on it. I kept recording and masturbating to it. I even skipped work and hid in the closet. I just, like, oh, let me see something real quick. Y'all be fucking. Let me see something real quick. It's the fakeness for me, yo. I just can't. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. I'm about to bust this motherfucking bubble. Motherfuckers is lying. It's just, y'all want me to continue reading this? This sounds like a bunch of fucking baloney. They all were big, so go figure. Well, instead of confronting her, I got off on it. I kept recording it, masturbating to it. I even skipped work and hid in the closet and listened to her get fucked. I couldn't stop jacking off to it. She doesn't even know. I know. I've never been attracted to men ever, but I'm attracted to dick. Not attracted to men, but you're attracted to dick. Interesting. That's possible. Like, there are women that like pussy, but they don't really like dating women. Alright. And looking at them fuck her, sometimes I pretend to go to the store and leave them in the house alone, but I'm really looking through the window, jerking, and now I pretend to be her the way she sucked they dick. Like, you know this shit made up. Come on. Who the fuck that stupid? To think that your ass went to the store and the whole time you looking like, just like, it's just, you don't, this shit is fucking fake as hell, y'all. And swallow all that cum. I wish it was me helping her. I watched her for so many years that I addicted to it. I have over 200 videos and 3,500 pics of her cheating. Yeah, I love it. I just want to watch it happen. By the way, the first guy we had a threesome with had the biggest, and she's in love with his dick. One day I found he used no punctuation at all. One day I found his condom with cum still in it and put it on and jack off with I even tasted being sneaky turned me into a cook, and now I'm not sure if I'm gay since I enjoy it. I think it's a cock fetish. Not sure what I should do or even if I'm gay for having them thoughts. But my friend dick is so big, I can't blame her for loving it. I love to look at it in my bag. He closes the email out. Do y'all think his ass is gay? I made a video, okay, on, like, heterosexual men who like to be penetrated by their female partners. Ask a question, is that gay? Most people say yes, but there were people that were like, no, it doesn't make you gay just because you like to be penetrated anally as a heterosexual man by your female partner. with the strap on. It's a female penetrating you, so that doesn't make you gay if a female is penetrating you. It makes you gay if another man is penetrating you. But some will even go to say that just because another man penetrates a man doesn't make him gay. It just makes him like anal sex. Alright? So, I want you guys to drop your comments below. What do you think? What do you think? Does that make him gay? He gave this whole long spiel on how he had his female and she was sleeping with his guy friends, and he started recording, watching them, taking pictures and videos, and now he developed an attraction towards these men, and he somehow cleaned up the fucking mess after they finished. He found in a condom, and so fucking nasty. I don't want to even stay that much longer on that email. Moving forward, April 15th, 2020. This is a different email someone sent. It says, I'm a white 42-year-old male and enthusiastic fan of yours. Your recent YouTube videos about cuckolding have struck a strong chord in me, and I happen to agree with everything you say, particularly about black men being more dominant than white men. Y'all like that. It's because y'all believe that. Yes, y'all believe it, and so it resonates with you, and you know it's true. Right? It's not that I said it and then you believe it. It's that I said what you guys already believe. Alright. He says that, particularly about black men being more dominant than white men, both in the bedroom and outside of it. My beautiful 35-year-old wife, who is also white, would agree with you too in this matter, as she has grown bored of my lack of sexual performance and my small size. She lets me pleasure her with my tongue, but won't let me go near her with my dick. Damn. I mean, she wouldn't have it any other way, and neither would you, sound like. You're a willing participant in this situation, sounds like. So, by the way, if y'all are trying to look under my dress, guess what? I am wearing shorts. This is mutually consenting. What we're reading here. We have also found that her fucking me with an 8-inch long black dildo. Look at that. Look how it's just juxtaposed against the previous one with the other guy saying that, you know, he lets his female partner penetrate him with penises. Anyway, this is how we have sex and it works for us. However, she needs more. She has this black colleague at work in his 20s, tall, muscular, and strong, that she tells me about. And she says he's always flirting with her at work and when they go for drinks with other colleagues after work. She says he's really hot and she enjoys his attention. He has asked her out on a date and she's accepted, although she asked me first if it was okay and I said yes. She says that she loves me but needs what I can't give her. I love her too, and that's why I agreed to her request. Some of y'all might be getting jealous. And what came to mind was the guy in the UK who I made a series about. Because he and other men, right, have this desire, this strong desire, right? It's growing desire. It doesn't go away. It just continues to get bigger and stronger to become a cuckold, right? And to engage in this type of dynamic with their female partner who hasn't really been that receptive to the idea. And so then here we are reading these stories where it sounds like a success story, right? Like They're living the fucking fantasy that many of y'all are just sitting on, begrudgingly, and kind of tormenting yourself. I just find that's interesting. What do y'all think? It's interesting, right? He's like rubbing it in. He's just like, we're doing it. She says that she loves me but needs what I can't give her. I love her too, and that's why I agreed to her request. What is your take on this dynamic? I hope to hear back from you as I respect your opinion. Shit, you doing a damn thing. That's my take. Shit. Y'all living the lifestyle. What many people can only dream about. Hey, more power to you. Alright, this other email was sent April 5th, 2020. Says, hi Danielle, I'm a big fan of your site and many of your posts. I am curious of your research of cuckolding. Have you ever considered exploring it from the perspective of why we black men get involved in this? I'm a 45-year-old black male that explored in this lifestyle for many years before settling down last year. Give us an update. I think I did do a video on this entitled Why Black Men Become Cuckolds. Go check that out. That was like one of my very first videos after I moved back to New York City last year at the brink of the fucking pandemic. I made a video entitled Why Black Men Become Cuckolds. I addressed that. I think he was the one who sparked that video topic. So I want an update because granted, he sent this April 5th, 2020. Please give us an update. Wait, let's see. When did I make that? Let's see if he was the one that... So many people asked me to talk about different topics as it relates to cuckold. So, let's see if he was the one. When did I make that video? Black men, I titled Black Men Who Enjoy Being a Bull in Cuckold Relationships. Let's see. When did I make this? Oh, I made it April 7th. I think he was the person because he sent his email... Yeah, April 5th, and I made the video April 7th. So I think he was the one who sparked the topic, this video. Promise, I've been getting a lot of questions. People have been demanding that I come back and talk about this topic, cuckold relationship. Black Men Who Enjoy Being a Bull in Cuckold Relationships is the title. You guys can go and watch that. I premiered it April 7, 2020, and it currently has 20,853 views. So, interesting. I want him to give us an update, okay? He's talking about he settled down last year. What does settle down mean, okay? Fill us in. Give us an update. I know my videos are fucking super long, and I am replying to everyone who sent an email, right, whose emails I am addressing here in this 3-part Cuckold Q&A Megafest series. And you're probably clicking on the video, right? You're going to my YouTube channel, you're clicking on the video, and you're like, where the fuck does she address my email? Because the email is long. I mean, the videos obviously are long as shit, right? And it's not that I'm just only addressing one email per video. In this series, I lumped in a lot. So in my first part, I addressed 11 emails. The second part to this series, I addressed... Wait, the first one I think was 12. The second one was 11. I think this one here is 8 emails I'm addressing, y'all. So it's a lot. And I'm probably like, where is mine? And I could have looked at the timestamp here on Facebook, right, to see what time I addressed it and then put the timestamp in my reply to their email. But it just popped up in my head. It just popped. That idea just popped up, all right? So maybe next time around I'll do that. Save you guys some time. Now this is a very final email that I'm going to address, which will conclude this 3-part Cuckold Q&A Megafest series here. This was sent, yo, this is throwback. So this was sent June 13th, 2019, which I believe is right around the time I did my very first one. So I did my very first Cuckold video ever on June 11th, 2019, right? That video currently now has 36,181 views. This final email that I'm going to address was sent June 13th. Do you see that? It was sent 2 days after I did my very first Cuckold video. So he says, "Hi, Goddess Danielle. I am a sub living in Los Angeles. I just followed you on Twitter." I don't see how you followed me. I don't really have an active Twitter account. Then he shared with me his Twitter account, which I'm not going to say. He says, "I'm a camera tech for film and TV. College grad. Have my own condo in Glendale." Glendale is a okay neighborhood. He says, "I just wanted to say thank you for your video on cuckolding and your open-mindedness about BDSM. I appreciate when you guys appreciate me. I really like that. Thank you for your appreciation." He says, "I've been a cuckold and loved it. Been more of a live-in slave and love that too, and it makes me whole to serve a strong woman." He's a slave to a strong, is that strong woman black? I think so, because he sounds like, his name sounds like a black person's name. He says, "Like you said, perspective is key. I was raised by a single mom and sis, and am a normal guy when I'm working, but at home, currently single. I'm sub and adore the idea of being a male housewife and cuckold in a modern dynamic." So you're saying you're single, but you are a slave? You're living, okay, you said you've been a cuckold and loved it. Been more of a slave, a living slave, and love that. But currently you're saying you are single. Are you currently single now, though? Because you sent this way back June 13, 2019, and today is November 21st, 2021. We're talking about 2 years later. 2.5 years later. Fill us in, yo. Are you still currently single? He says, "I'm sub and adore the idea of being a male housewife and cuckold in a modern dynamic. Something functional, intelligent, fun, loving. Did I mention you are absolutely stunning? Just saying." I wish I could see what y'all look like, though, because y'all can see me. I think that would make me more personable, too. Because I know some of y'all, I'm like, damn, she's so fucking brutal. I don't try to be that way, though. But I'm like, I don't know y'all motherfuckers. I don't. And I get it. Y'all want to remain anonymous. But anyway. Just because I want to see what y'all look like, too. I know a lot of y'all boys sexy as shit. Fine as hell, yo. Like that one who sent me that email a couple days ago talking about he wanted to remain anonymous. But I know who he is. Y'all won't know who he is, though. And I'm like, he's kind of cute. But I like my man fine. You gotta be more than cute. You gotta be fine. And fine, like I said, y'all already know my type, you know. Yo, Christian Grey. Ugh. His ass is fine. What makes Christian Grey fine? Okay. The obvious. This motherfucker was, I think he was a billionaire. This motherfucker had money, yo. He had wealth, right? That shit will make anybody fine. Power, yes, fine. He had wit, right? To be able to like manipulate and get his way. I like that. I like when a man does that to go after what he wants, especially that being a woman, right? I like when a man uses that to get what he wants in that sense. And not only just to get sex, necessarily what he wants, but like he actually, this is a love story. That's what makes it a great story, right? Because it's not that he just wanted sex, which to me is a turnoff for a lot of men who come on me and like, they just want to fuck, right? Get their rocks off, which shows that they see me as an object to that. And any woman can do that. A dog can get your fucking sexual needs met, okay? So that doesn't make me feel fucking
privileged or valued or, you know, highly desired by a man. Oh, because, oh, he's choosing me for sex. You can get that shit from a fucking dog, right? But the fact that this is a romance story, okay? He wanted to be with her, right? And they got married. I mean, am I really spilling the beans? This is not a fucking new release. This shit been out. It's been out for a couple years. But he loved her. It's been out since what, 2015? He loved her. And I think they had a baby. No, they got married. This is a romance story, right? And so that shit's sexy as fuck. And he, like, his attention was on her. That shit is sexy, right? This shit wasn't, even though he held a whole enterprise, right? Billion dollar, or $billion, whatever, enterprise, he was wealthy, right? And a lot of men were like, oh, I have a lot on my plate, I'm busy. But he was well organized. That shit is sexy, right? He had his priorities straight in a sense where it's almost as much attention and energy he devoted to his enterprise and making sure it stayed afloat and was successful. He devoted that much attention to her equally, right? And so that's a subconscious thing. That's like a subliminal message that was communicated in this film that resonate with the femininity, right? The woman who were watching this, because it's a juxtaposition of importance and value, right? We know clearly he valued his enterprise. That's the reason why he became so successful. He invested a lot of time and money and energy into that. Hence the reason why, right? It's so successful. And to see that he invested equally amount of time and energy, focus to her, to nurturing her, to shaping her, right? That's what it is, shaping her. When a man is willing to tame a woman or nurture her or like shape her into like the person kind of he wants her to be, that shit is fucking sexy as shit, right? Giving her rules and, you know, being on top of the discipline with her. Yeah, so that juxtaposition of like his enterprise and her, right, and the relationship that they shared, that juxtaposition of equality, of value to him, right? Sexy as shit. What do you see now, though, as opposed to that? You see, right, a lot of men, y'all got the shit fucked up. Shit turned, it's unattractive. Y'all trying to follow the likes of KS, I will not say his name, but KS, supposed fucking life coach who want to give advice to women in front of men. Men learning this bullshit ass advice. And like I said, he's preparing y'all ass to fucking be without a woman, to be womanless, to live in a world, MGTOW world, manosphere world with no women. I have come across men who want to sit up here and reference KS, or whatever the fuck his name is, right? As if he's a fucking gold standard of information, a person you should follow. And it's just like, y'all, that's upside down information you pulling from him. That's backwards ass advice. And you know fucking alpha man falling behind another goddamn man. Do you see this motherfucker falling behind a man? No, right? You'll see movies where you got men calling up their homeboy and trying to, you know, get advice. What should I do? And after they had sex with a woman, you know, going back to them. And, you know, you see that shit in movies, right? Those beta men. You ain't see this motherfucker doing that. He ain't need to rely on no other motherfucker's opinion because he was in charge of his own life. That's the kind of man I motherfucking like. You make your own decisions, even though he ran his enterprise and of course he had people working up under him. He fucking led the show. That shit is fucking sexy as hell. This motherfucker's so goddamn. He's white. Granted, I'm pro-black. I like black men, but goddamn, that motherfucker fine as shit. Yes. Everything about that motherfucker was fine. I might have to watch that shit after this video. I'm like, damn. And do those kind of men exist? I think they do. They rare, diamond in the rough, you know. They exist. The criticism with that movie, though, before I end this video, came from like people who are true BDSM practitioners, right? Like myself. Didn't like. I mean, I love the movie, right? But I understand like the criticism that came from mostly BDSM practitioners who were opposed to the narrative, how she, as the story developed, it began to uncover like the why and the how of his dominance, to link it back to him having an abusive childhood. I didn't like that part, It kind of like trying to pathologize his alpha maleness, I ain't like that. It's not a pathology. I ain't like that, and him wanting to like discipline her, like his fetish, right? I ain't like that they try to do that, but I get it. There's a flip side to all of that, and I oftentimes too like to uncover the how and the why of why people are driven to certain alternative lifestyles. That's important, I think, for mental health reasons. But we're talking about entertainment. We're talking about entertainment, y'all. This is entertainment. I'm just like, you fucking up the fucking shit, man. Damn, I didn't like that. And then as the story progressed, even like in part 3, it's just like, okay, he became less dominant. You saw like a more of an exchange of power, leaving him and going more towards her. She kind of gained the power that he lost in a sense. The dynamic kind of it changed, it evolved or devolved, let's say, into where it was more like an egalitarian relationship. Actually, she, I think, had more of the upper hand. And then, I was just like, no, bring him back. Bring the part 1 back. Bring the part 1 Christian Grey back. I love that, but it's a good story though. Nonetheless, it's a good story. Anyways, did I finish this? Hope to follow more of your work and check out your books. I'm so excited to see your vid. It makes me feel like I'm less of a freak. That feels really good, but not as good as baking your cookies and doing your laundry. And then he signs off XOXO under you, goddess, and leaves his name. No, bruh. Tell y'all I'm not interested in that. I'm just not my thing, y'all. Sorry. I don't like submissive men. This is the kind of man I like right here. This is the kind of man. Yes, honey, y'all. He had a plan. There's nothing like a man with a plan. Not only for his business, his enterprise, right? His work. He get into the bag. He had a plan for that. Very well organized and prioritized with that, and then he had a plan for her. Like, she's sexy. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. These men, like I said, nowadays, they, in a sense, they want to put all the energy into, my dream. And nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. They put all their time and energy and focus into, getting the bag and my career. And then the woman gets like this much. Then in return, they still expect a woman to fuck them and to be available when they want them to be available. That is not love. I can't fall in love with that. No. She fell in love because she can sense that he was into her, okay? He was there. He attended. Do you look at it seemed like it was so subtle, right? The way he was like just almost like on her toes, so to speak. But to me, some people may take it as stalking. Stalking is when it's unwanted, when you don't want a person attention and they're like attending to you fucking every minute of the day, right? That's stalking. But if a person desires it, it's not stalking, right? She wanted, you can tell, like, it was a part of her that craved his ass. She sunk into it, right? That's fucking how you build a bond with a person, man. You gotta get back to this kind of love, yo. We gotta get back to this kind of love. I'm just like, God damn. Alright, let me stop fantasizing in this video. I can go on and on about that. It's just, damn. He's, I think, he has a British accent, I think, right? He's from Britain. It's weird, though, because when you see him outside of this character, he's not as sexy. Not to me, anyway. I saw, like, a few clips, video clips of him in his regular person. And it wasn't this. I think he had a beard. I don't know. He has an accent. The accent is not that. The accent is not sexy. I like British accent, but he just didn't have the swag like Christian had. He just don't have that swag, I guess, in real life. That's not who he is, I guess. I think he the complete opposite of that, to be honest. I think he's more beta male in real life. Like, oh, damn, motherfucker, fine as shit, yo. Alright, let me end this video. I want to watch this today. Love me like you do. I still got this, too. So, at the premiere in LA, they gave everybody, like, the little mask that she's wearing. I still have it. I went live, yo, and the my fucking partner, yo, his ass, he was there with me. Y'all see, during the live, he showed his ass, yo. See, people mistake, like, they don't understand what dominance is, right? Granted, my ex, he was dominant. That's what kind of drew us together, because I'm submissive. And he's, like, naturally dominant, especially being, like, former military, being a Jamaican from Brooklyn, New York. But he had it all fucking twisted. And he was kind of jelly too. Like, and some people ask, like, is jealousy a good thing in a relationship, like on dating sites? And I'm like, I guess it can be, but not if it's stemming from insecurity. If it's stemming from like you wanting to protect what you feel is yours, right? Then okay, I think jealousy can be a good thing. It's functional. But if it's stemming from you just completely insecure, like, nah, that's problematic. We gotta bring those kind of men back. We gotta normalize that. That's what we need to normalize. Y'all asked me about, should we normalize cuckolding? We need to normalize real men doing real shit. Yes, honey. Loving a woman. Dominating a woman. Let's normalize that. It's like you can do both. You don't have to choose between investing in your career and getting a bag as a man and investing in a woman. Baby, you can do both like Christian Grey did. That's the kind of man I like. And then when I see that in a man, right, that level of investment, not only in his career, because you got to be getting to the bag, right? You can't just be no bum. But when I see that in a man, and I also see that level of investment in his career matched to, you know, with his level of investment in me, then that's when I submit. That's the key. I be dropping jewels, giving y'all the fucking key. And a lot of these men, they go right the fuck over their head. They be like, oh, money over bitches. All right, bye. On that note, I'm going to see y'all later. Feel free to drop your comments below. I left some jewels here in this video. You might find it if you're patient. A lot of y'all got microwave attention spans. Ain't my fault.